When we talk about diet, we're usually thinking about our heart health or maybe our waistline. But what about our eyesight? Today we're going to break down the science of how the food you put on your plate can literally build a powerful shield to protect one of our most precious senses for the long haul.
It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Can you really eat your way to better, more protected vision? Well, the science behind it is absolutely fascinating, and the answer might just surprise you. So let's dig in and see what the research actually says.
All right, here's the game plan. We're going to start by uncovering the eyezone's amazing defense system. Then, we'll meet the key nutrients that power it. After that, we'll get practical and look at the best foods to eat, set some realistic expectations, and finally, we'll tackle that big question: food or supplements? First up, let's pull back the curtain on a protective system that's already built right into your eyes. A natural shield that's working for you 24/7 without you even knowing it.
Okay, so at the very heart of this defense system is something called macular pigment. Now just think of it as this super concentrated shield of specific nutrients, and it's parked in the most important real estate in your retina, the macula. This is the VIP section, the part responsible for all your sharp, high-definition central vision. You know, the kind you need to read a book or recognize a face from across the room.
Honestly, the best way, no, the perfect way to picture this macular pigment is as a pair of built-in biological sunglasses. They are constantly filtering out harmful light before it can do any damage to the most sensitive parts of your eye. How cool is that?
So if this macular pigment is our internal shield, what's it actually made of? Well, that brings us to the two key nutrients that are the true heroes of this story. All right, meet lutein and zeaxanthin. Say them with me, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are the two names you're going to want to remember. They are special plant pigments called carotenoids, and they are the only building blocks of that protective macular shield we were just talking about.
So what exactly do they do? Well, their job is pretty incredible. First, they act like bodyguards, absorbing anywhere from 40 to 90% of that damaging, high-energy blue light we get from the sun and all our screens. They're also powerful antioxidants, cleaning up cellular damage. But here is the absolute kicker, the most crucial part of this whole explainer. Your body cannot make lutein and zeaxanthin on its own. You must get them from the food you eat.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? If our bodies can't make them, where on earth do we get them? So let's get down to brass tacks and look at the best places to find these vision guardians. All right, get your shopping list ready. The real heavy hitters here, no surprise, are those dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens, but you'll also find a great supply in corn, broccoli, and green beans. And here's one that might surprise you: egg yolks. They are a fantastic and really easy for your body to use source. Now this is a really important pro tip if you want to get the most bang for your buck. Lutein and zeaxanthin are fat-soluble. That's just a sciencey way of saying your body needs some fat to actually grab onto them and absorb them. So adding some olive oil to your spinach salad isn't just for taste. It actually helps you absorb these nutrients. And that's why egg yolks are such a powerhouse. The lutein comes pre-packaged with the fat it needs, making it way easier for your body to absorb than even the lutein from spinach.
So are we actually getting enough? This is where things get a little concerning. The research shows that the average adult in the US gets about 1.7 milligrams a day. But to get the maximum protective benefit, the lowest risk for diseases like age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, the science suggests we should be aiming for closer to 6 milligrams a day. That's a huge gap between what most of us are doing and what's actually optimal. Okay, let's pump the brakes for a second and talk about what's realistic here. It is so important to understand that nutrition is all about long-term prevention. It's a support strategy, not some kind of overnight miracle cure.
But make no mistake, that prevention is incredibly powerful. Just look at this number, 40%. Major studies found that people who consistently ate a diet rich in these nutrients, over the long term, had a 40% lower risk of developing advanced AMD. That is a massive, life-changing reduction in risk.
And a huge piece of the evidence for this comes from a really famous clinical trial. It's called the AREDS 2 study. Researchers followed over 4,000 people who already had macular degeneration. What they found after 5 years was that those who took a specific supplement with lutein and zeaxanthin saw a modest but statistically significant slowing of the disease. It's just powerful proof that these benefits really do build up over time. So let's just be crystal clear about this. On one side, you have what the science actually supports. Nutrition can help lower your risk of developing things like AMD and cataracts, and it can support your overall vision. On the other side, you have the myths. No food is going to fix your nearsightedness. That's a structural issue with your eye. And there's definitely no single magic fruit that's going to magically restore vision you've already lost.
And this all leads to a question I know a lot of you are probably asking. Okay, this is great, but can't I just pop a pill for this? Is it better to get these from food, or should I just go buy a supplement? Let's break down the strategy.
Look, for the vast majority of people, the answer is simple. Food first, always. Real food gives you this whole symphony of nutrients that all work together, the absorption is usually better, and it's cheaper. Supplements, on the other hand, really have a specific medical role. They're mainly recommended for people who have already been diagnosed with AMD based on that ARDS2 study. But this isn't something to guess about. Any decision to start a supplement has to be done with your doctor.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly sums up the entire philosophy. Prevention is so much easier than trying to reverse a problem later on. It's not about what you do for a week or a month. It's about the small, consistent choices you make over decades. That's where the real power is.
So, as we wrap this up, it really all boils down to this. The foundation for the health of your eyes tomorrow is literally being built by what you decide to put on your plate today. The power to protect your own sight is, in a very real way, in your hands. And of course, a quick but very important reminder, this explainer is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not medical advice. Please always talk to your eye doctor or your healthcare provider before you make any significant changes to your diet or you start taking new supplements. They can give you advice that's tailored specifically for you. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, small choices create big changes. Keep nourishing your health with love and consistency. See you in the next Vital Elixir video.